On the news tonight, Christians enjoy to imbibe the spirit of sacrifice, forgiveness as they commemorate Good Friday. Islamic cleric encourages Muslims to maximize the bounties of Laylatul Qadr. And FCT Police Command deploys personnel ahead of Easter celebration. At 7, I am. Christians joins the world to observe the commemoration of the crucifixion of Jesus Christ. Clerics advise Christians to follow the exemplary life of Jesus by loving one another and keeping the commandments of God. Ifeanyi Ezumba visited some churches and now reports.
Appreciating God for the sacrifice Jesus made for mankind, for as we were yet sinners, he died for us.
Why do we call it Good Friday? It was actually a traumatic Friday, a Friday that our Savior was brutally, unjustifiably crucified on the cross of Calvary. It became good because for humanity, that was the day the price for our redemption was paid.
And thereby giving us the righteousness of Christ and opening the doors for a new relationship. And so I can now have a one-on-one relationship with God.
At the Church of Christ in Nations, Reverend Alexander Meisaini revealed that Christians call it good because it is a continuous blessing and everything about it brings goodness. He says with the sacrifice, believers are more than conquerors.
It has spiritual significance, and the spiritual significance is the joy Jesus gave to us, the forgiveness he gave to us, the peace and the harmony he gave to humanity.
At the Evangelical Church Winning All, Reverend Nash Azaki said the sacrifice reconciles man to God.
Because the prophets had before now prophesied about the suffering servant that will come to take away the human depravity, which is what Christ has done today.
Good Friday is an important day for Christians across the world. As they reminisce on the sacrifice, they prayed that the blessings of God and the love of Christ, as well as his peace, never stops showering upon all. Ifeanyi Ezumba, NT News.
The Passion Play is an annual dramatization of the last moment in the life of Jesus Christ before his crucifixion. This reenactment brings Christians from all walks of life to share in the story of Jesus Christ. Wayne Dogo, who was at the Holy Trinity Catholic Church, Maitama, brings us the report.
This was the battery! Guys, where's this kingdom of yours? I hear you are a king.
The Passion Play is a significant event for Catholics during Easter as it reenacts the final hours of Jesus Christ's life, death, and resurrection. It is a powerful and emotional depiction of the suffering that Jesus endured for the sake of humanity. The Passion Play also highlights the centrality of the cross in Christian theology. The crucifixion represents the ultimate sacrifice made by Christ, which is the cornerstone of Catholic belief. Watching the reenactment of the events leading up to the crucifixion serves as a reminder of the enormous love and selflessness of Jesus.
Well, as Christians, I think one will also have to keep in mind that suffering is part of life. And there is redemption in suffering. Jesus redeemed us through his suffering, death, and resurrection. And so whenever we find ourselves having difficulties and have to suffer from something, we must not look at it as always negative. We need to look at it as something that God has a plan of something good coming up from it. And so with that disposition, it is possible to allow God to walk through suffering and difficulty.
Only in suffering, that you feel that you have lost, but in suffering you gain. That is what the impact I feel that this passion play has taught us today. I came here with my family, and we are so touched by the wonderful performance by the youths of our Catholic Church, and we will not take it for granted.
Furthermore, the Passion Play is a communal experience bringing together Catholics from all walks of life to share in the story of Christ, and it is also a way to experience and relive the story of redemption and salvation. In Abuja, Wayne Dugu, NTA News.
As Lenten season comes to an end, Christian faithful have kept faith in fasting and prayer in preparation for the memorial of the crucifixion of Jesus Christ on Good Friday and its connectivity with the abstinence from meat and the rush for fish.
The three pillars of Lent are fasting, prayers, and almsgiving to the needy. 24 hours before it comes to a close, the couriers just sincerely took a trip to the popular Kado fish market in Abuja as early as 7 a.m. This fish trader, Blessing Williams, has been in fish business for years. She buys here to sell at the Utako market, like most traders here.
The demand is very high, yes, but the price actually, sometimes it can be out of hand.
The turnout of customers, fish dealers say, is impressive and huge. Although noting that bumper sales expected when the Catholic and Islamic faithful complete their fast.
The demand is quite low. One, because of the Lent. The Christians are going through the Lent and the Muslims are also going through their fasting.
Every home relishes meals with meat seen as the crowning of the meal. But in the Lenten season, when Christians, particularly Catholics, abstain from meat and focus on fish, particularly on a Good Friday, I sought to know what this act really symbolizes.
Abstinence from meat is not even a significant part of Good Friday. It is just, it's a symbolic thing. So Good Friday, generally, people are encouraged to fast.
The practice of abstinence from meat and consumption of fish and other listed seafoods on a Good Friday has been an age-long practice of not just the Catholic faithful, but the whole Christendom. Serafina Okon Umekwe, NT News.
The Federal Capital Territory Police Command has deployed human and material resources across the nooks and crannies of the territory to ensure that residents enjoy the Easter celebration to its maximum. The deployment, which consists of all intelligence and tactical assets at the command's disposal, cemented with interagency collaboration, is born out of the need to curb crime and criminality in all its dynamics. A statement by the command spokesman, SP Joseph Ade, says the deployment is characterized by strengthened police-community relationship towards intelligence gathering, visibility policing at all places of worship and every point of social gathering, stop and search duty, intelligence-led raids on black spots, highway and patrol and border patrol, aggressive vehicular and foot patrol and surveillance, interagency collaboration and sundry. Consequent upon this, the FCT Commissioner of Police AIG Sadiq Idris Abubakar assures residents of the territory of the command's unwavering commitment to ensuring that they have a safe and peaceful environment during the Easter celebration period and beyond. Meanwhile, the CP, while briefing senior officers from all units and formations of the command on the operations order, charged the officers to ensure that no stone is left unturned as they discharge their duties in tandem with global best practices and respect for fundamental human rights. He also enjoined residents to embrace peace and other virtues in the spirit of festivity as they join the Christian faithful across the world in celebration. And away from Easter celebration, the assurance of the Quran of a special reward in the Night of Majesty formed the spiritual encouragement for today's Juma sermon by Chief Imam and Director, Nuru Yadin Islamic Foundation, Ustaz Yahya Garba Ayolawi, as he reminds worshippers. Abdullahi Ajia tells us more.
With so much at stake in terms of excellent rewards from Allah to His servants, found in Laylatul Qadr of the last 10 days of the Ramadan, Ustaz Yahya Garba Al-Yolawi admonishes the congregation to be steadfast by increasing acts of worship day and night in order to benefit from what he terms gracious bonanza.
We are approaching last 10 days, so we need to remind our brothers and sisters in Islam on how they can maximize, how they will earn more rewards, how they can benefit more in this very precious, which is equivalent to or more than 80 years of devotion. So one cannot afford to miss this day, this golden opportunity.
The Imam's preaching also informs the congregation of the need to spread goodness, charity, and invocation, as well as encouraging family members to do same.
Cage yourself in one of the mosques for 3 days, 7 days, or even the 10th days. Another thing is when you can, if you can afford to go for Umrah, don't forget azkar, dua, reading of Quran, so many act of worship that can please Allah increase.
The cleric who led the 2 rakat prayer asked Allah to bring lasting peace and security in Nigeria and around the world. In Abuja, Abdullah Hajia, NTA News.
President Muhammad Buhari this evening joined the Muslim community in the State House to pray for sustainable peace, national unity and stability, as well as successful transition to the next administration. This was at the closing ceremony of this year's Ramadan Tafsir in the State House Mosque by Chief Imam Sheikh Abdul Wahid Suleiman, who is proceeding to Saudi Arabia on Lesser Hajj. Details will come in a subsequent news bulletin. The reward of the holy month of Ramadan is achieved when Muslims come together in unison to cross-populate ideas and prayers to commit each other to Allah in seeking solutions to challenge of common effect. To this practice, the Abuja Muslim Forum is collaborating with the National Mosque, Dawah and Welfare Foundation to discuss implications of government cashless policy on the Ummah and Nigeria in general.
The cashless policy of government was targeted to strengthen the nation's digital economy and financial inclusiveness for its steadfast, virile, and egalitarian national growth. However, implementation of the policy, the poor outcome, and impact on Nigerians is the most currently trending issue across the country above the recently held general elections as well as the forthcoming national population census. This collaborative platform by the Abuja Muslims Forum seeks to engage individuals and the community to x-ray the impact on all and sundry.
We'll gather different organizations and members from different parts of FCT and even beyond. So it is an opportunity for them to exchange ideas, to compare notes, what is happening here, what's happening there.
Former Director General, Budget Office of the Federation, Aliyu Yahaya Gusau, spoke on the cashless policy, its implication for the Muslim Ummah and Nigerians in general.
The issue being raised by the CBN that there's too much money in circulation does not warrant the overemphasis on cash currency alone, as it is not the only component of money supply in the financial system. Money supply basically consists of currency in circulation, savings deposits held by banks. Goodwill
messages commended the Noble Dawah initiative by the forum and called on the Ummah to support its growth. In Abuja, Onnotu Yakubu, NTA News.
Scholars on Sahul Live program on NTA have enjoined Muslims to focus on their 5 daily prayers as they translate to success in their life endeavor. Umidin Haliru reports.
On the program, scholars identify Salat as a key act of worship upon which every true Muslim must strive to attain perfection.
From time to time, they discuss with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in Salat. That's a very golden opportunity.
Imam Tajuddin Adigun explains that one's perfection of the 5 daily prayers can make other acts of worship easier for the faithful.
Don't see Salat as a burden.
It's not a chore.
No, you should see it as an opportunity. We should see it as a means that Allah wants us to be meeting with Him.
The scholars also admonish Muslims who only pray during Ramadan that prayer is a compulsory act of worship that should be observed daily. In Abuja, Ummiddin Haliru, NTA News.
have called on the federal government to do more in funding the sector, as this will reduce huge sum of money expended on medical tourism annually. This came to the fore as Nigeria joins in the commemoration of the United Nations World Health Day. Sarafina Okon-Omekwe reports.
Health, no doubt, remains one of the basic human needs and rights that everyone should have access to, irrespective of creed, tribe, socio-economic status, or color. World Health Day brings healthcare providers and the leadership of every country together to forge a common front on healthcare services.
All Nigerian hospitals are doing more procedures that initially people used to go out for. Some health conditions that used to take Nigerians out there, we are beginning to reverse it a little. You know, you may not find, you still have so many reasons why Nigerians are going out of the country, but believe this, lately in the last 3 years, I think that is changing. You're having more Nigerians have some procedures here. Then the leaders need to believe in the country.
Migration of medical workers, experts say, if not checked, might just be a ticking time bomb waiting to explode, and are therefore calling on the Nigerian health institutions to admit more students, equip them efficiently, as there is already a depletion in the workforce, while charging government at all levels to create an enabling environment.
First, appeal to our own people, to our sense of duty, to our sense of sacrifice to provide care for our people. If Nigeria is not good, was it good when Lord Lugard came? Was it good when Mary Slessor came?
The theme for 2023 World Health Day is Health for All. On analysis of this year's theme, health practitioners say all primary healthcare centers must be able to provide basic services so as not to overstretch the secondary and tertiary health facility by making such location livable with better remuneration and funding of the National Health Insurance Authority. In Abuja, Serafina Okon-Omekwe, NT News.
Malama, Allah ki bani katin bulo na 1000. Na 1000? Tam. To shikenan yanzu nan zaka ga alert. Me yake damun ka? Me aka yi maka kake wannan ihun malam? Ba dole in ihu ba. Wannan malamar ce na ce ta bani katin gulo na 1000. Ta je ta sa min katin 10,000. Ta ya zan iya biyan wannan? Wannan ai garabasa gulo take yi. Idan ka saka 1000 za su rubanya maka shi domin ya koma 10,000. Shine muke kira 10 times airtime bonus. Amma ka abun nan kai mamaki. Abokina ka kwanta da hankalinka. Kaga wannan 10,000 gulo ne ta baka kyauta. That what me say na 10 times ahun we gulo give you.
Kwarai kuwa kai ma za ka iya samun 10 times airtime bonus idan ka sai kati a layin Glo ɗinka. Sai sabon layin Glo.
Irin tashin hankalin da ke biyo bayan yaƙi babu ruwansa da ko kai wane ne, ƙabilarka ko kuma addininka. Idan yaƙi ya zo, ritsawa ike yi da kowa mai kuɗi ko talaka. An lalata komai, babu sauran abin moriya. Idan aka yi yaƙin basasa a ƙasa, babu wanda ike yin nasara domin kowa sai ya yi asara. A zub da jinin waɗanda ba su ji ba su gani ba, a jefa su cikin masifa babu gaira babu dalili, duk a sakamakon yaƙi. Mu baiwa sojojinmu haɗin kai da goyon baya domin ganin sun yi nasara akan aikinsu. Kada mu sake mu yi wani abin da zai ƙara musu matsala akan wacce suke fuskanta. Babu abin da ya fi tattaunawa daɗi. Kada mu sake mu yi abin da zai rarraba kawunanmu. Za mu fi ƙarfi da daraja a dunkule. Nigeria ƙasa ɗaya ce, al'umma ɗaya. Kasancewar mu al'umma ɗaya shine ƙarfi da daraja a gare mu, kuma shine abin sha'awa a duniya.
Let's now down this sports brief.
Super Falcons continued their build-up to the 2023 FIFA Women's World Cup on Friday with an international friendly match win against Haiti. Playing against World Cup debutant Haiti, the 9-time African champions proved to be the better side with a 2-1 victory in Turkey. The Nigeria Premier Football League enters Match Day 13 this weekend
with table-toppers Bendel Insurance hosting Kwara United on Saturday in Group A. Group B fixtures will see Dakada tackle Doma United on Saturday. In boxing, Israel Adesanya says his rivalry with UFC middleweight champion Alex Pereira could be the greatest storyline in MMA history. The pair meet for a fourth time at UFC 287 in Miami on Saturday, with Pereira winning all 3 previous fights. He says he wants to remind everyone that he remains the best in the division by reclaiming his middleweight title from Pereira. With Sports Brief, Francisca Bile, NTA News.
And that we conclude the news in English. Translation is next. Stay with us.
Ajimawi manan yesu fifiyan ko welo ngona iwo abada zaza ishan daje zuma woni ye wa goba gnayi shi ayikinya na wado no akin aje no nyize aipa yesu zundu bo yin ifan ozumba wela bisheba wela lo ashoko yeginya kun we genge ashoko beda bela bepache ayesivi na ye nge ila dogbe yesu yan ajeye chenya ize aja bu ivi gbetu owobedanya o genge na ye nu aduba baguya abuzenya ga zahazahi shoko ipeje selaya gbetu yamwa mananya nu ozaba nwa yiwowe nu nsukoi okonbe jin beda tuko osanu ayeche asalaji bepa enchei nu abegin aigo shokoi beda gaba enchei nayin Abdullahi Ajiya wona le sheba wo be na beda wa gange shokoi fenu Yahaya Garba al lo yawi wone dade nanu wo shokoi beda gogan naye wen gange salaji ge bala shokoi weji be no aduajin enyi pei bedo nsukoi na baige abwa nyamamane nanu yezie akushokoi jiwe ntuko tu no abyeji ekinya yebo azad nagbai no sapa nai lafiya ya bala ewi sadna gwamnati nge nu agaga zabia wa no afube bajin ba abwa be no ajiwe gaba sapa ya na bai no atajin awajwe eyede de he azan lafiya zan sarafina okon wale shiba webe na badai wa gange dade na sai na ekinye na wade nche na bai ai pa yin pe lafiya ya bo ai ngana lafiya ko jin anyanu nzaza haye ko jin ebie kin de na antichenu ala bwache be chowo no sapaye nkoi omaje abo babwa wulelanu sai ko nei
masu kallon mu barkanmu da yammaci ga fasarar takaitattun labarai mai karantawa Isiyaku Buhari Suleja. A yayin da Najeriya ke bin kasashen duniya wajen tunawa da ranar gijiyar Yesu Almasihu, wakilinmu Ifeyin Ezumba ta rawaito mana cewa ta ziyarci wayansu coci inda fastoci sun yi kira ga mabiya addinin Kirista da su yi koyi ga halayen Yesu Almasihu wajen nuna ƙaunar juna da kuma kiyaye dokokinsu. A hudubar da aka gudanar a masallacin juma'a, wakilinmu Abdullahi Ajiya ya rawaito mana cewa limamin kuma daraktan kungiyar addinin musulunci na gidauniyar Nurul Yakin Ustaz Yahaya Garba Ayolawi ya tunatar da 'yan uwa musulmai game da mahimmancin daren Lailatul Qadr. Ya kara kira da cewa a himmatu wajen ibadu musamman a cikin goma na ƙarshe. Masu ruwa da tsaki ta fannin kiwon lafiya ta yi kira ga gwamnatin tarayya da ta ƙara kudaden ta fannin kiwon lafiya don rage yawan kashe kudade zuwa kasashen waje don neman lafiya wakiliyarmu Serafina Oko Imoke ta ruwaito mana cewa an yi wannan kira ne domin ranar lafiya ta duniya wanda Najeriya ta biyo sahun sauran kasashe domin tunawa da ranar. Jama'a, ƙarshen fasarar takaitattun labaran kenan, mu kwana lafiya.
Igbo bụ Igbo, ekele m unu nọ n'akụkọ nke uhuruchi taa. Ọ bụ Okwu Francis Denyi na-akọ ya bụ akụkọ. Ka ụmụ amaala Naịjirịa na-esonye ndị ụwa ndị ọzọ ime mmemme ncheta ụbọchị akpọgburu Jesu Kristi n'obe, ndị ụkọchukwu akpọkuola ndị na-eso ụzọ Kraịst ka ha ṅomie ndụ Jesu site na ịhụkọrịta onwe ha n'anya. Ifeanyị Ezumba, onye gara n'ọtụtụ ụlọ ụka ndị Kraịst, kwuru na ndị ụkọchukwu mere ka amata nke a maka ijiri were dobe iwu nke Chineke, onye nke kere ụwa. Inweta ezi olileanya nke Koran kwere nkwa ya n'abalị dị ukwuu bụ ebe okwu ime mmụọ nke sitere n'ọnụ Chief Imam nke Nuru Yaqeen Foundation bụ Ustaz Yahya Garba Al-Yolawi pụta. Abdullahi Ajiya mere ka amata na okwu a pụtara ihe iji cherara ndị bịara ekpere mkpa ọ dị irite elele nke abalị dị ukwuu. Ndị ọnụ na-eru n'okwu ka o si metụta ọnọdụ ahụike akpọkuola gọọmenti etiti ka ha tinye nnukwute ego na ngalaba ahụike ala anyị iji gbochie ya bụ nnukwu ego ụmụ amaala anyị na-ebugara ndị mba ofesi maka inweta ọnọdụ ahụike kwa afọ ọbụla. Serafina Okon Umekwe kwuru na ndụmọdụ a pụtara ihe mgbe ala anyị sonyere mba ụwa ndị ọzọ were merụba ụbọchị icheta ụbọchị ahụike nke ụwa gbaa gburugburu. Ndewo, eta ka ọ hanyere ọnụ ka ọ dị n'ụbọchị Mọnde mgbe a ga-akọrọ n'akụkọ ọzọ.
Ẹ̀kúkalẹ̀ o, àsìkò dédé wòyí ròyìn iléeṣẹ́ amóhùnmáwòrán ìkànnì karùn-ún ti ìlú Àbújá ló ń dé sí etí ìgbọ̀yìn láti ẹnu Ọ̀bọ́lájí Mátì. Àwọn aṣíwájú nínú ẹ̀sìn ọmọlẹ́yìn Kristi ti rọ gbogbogbò pàápàá àwọn ọmọlẹ́yìn Kristi wípé kí á tẹ̀lé àwọn àpẹẹrẹ tí olùgbàlà aráyé Jésù Kristi fi lélẹ̀ fún wa, kí á nífẹ̀ẹ́ ọmọnìkejì wa bí a ti ń pa àwọn òfin Ọlọ́run ọba mọ́. Alákòjọpọ̀ ìròyìn Ifeanyi Ezumba ròyìn wípé ìmọ̀ràn yìí wáyé bí gbogbo ọmọ orílẹ̀-èdè ṣe ń darapọ̀ mọ́ orílẹ̀-èdè gbogbo lágbàáyé fún ìrántí ọjọ́ tí wọ́n kan olùgbàlà aráyé Jésù Kristi mọ́ igi àgbélébù. Àsọdájú ìwé mímọ́ Al-Qur'an fún èrè pàtàkì ní alẹ́ òru abiyì ló jẹ́ kókó ọ̀rọ̀ àti ọ̀rọ̀ ìyànjú nínú wàásù Jímọ̀ tòní. Alákòjọpọ̀ ìròyìn Abdullahi Ajiya ròyìn wípé lèmọ́mù àgbà tó tún jẹ́ olùdarí ẹgbẹ́ Nuru Yaqeen Ustaz Yahya Garba Al-Yolawi ló ṣe àgbékalẹ̀ náà. Ó rán gbogbo jọ̀mọ́ létí lórí ìgbésẹ̀ náà àti ọ̀pọ̀ àǹfààní tí mùsùlùmí òdodo yóò rí jẹ bí a ti ń tẹ̀lé àwọn ìlànà ẹ̀sìn Islam. Àwọn tí ọ̀rọ̀ kàn ní agbo ètò ìlera ti ké sí ìjọba àpapọ̀ wípé kí wọ́n túbọ̀ pèsè owó fún agbo ọ̀hún torí pé èyí yóò ṣe ọ̀pọ̀ àǹfààní láti dẹ́kun owó gọbọi tí àwọn èèyàn ń ná lórí ètò ìlera lọ́dọọdún. Alákòjọpọ̀ ìròyìn Serafina Umekwe ròyìn wípé ọ̀rọ̀ yìí wáyé bí orílẹ̀-èdè wa Nàìjíríà ṣe ń darapọ̀ fún ayẹyẹ ọjọ́ ètò ìlera àwọn orílẹ̀-èdè tó dúró nínú ìrẹ́pọ̀. Ọ̀pọ̀ tó sọ̀rọ̀ mẹ́nubà pàtàkì ètò náà àti wípé ètò ìlera ẹ̀tọ́ gbogbo wa ni. A ò rí jù báyìí lọ́sẹ̀ yìí títí ọ̀sẹ̀ tó ń bọ̀ ní àṣẹ tìdùn àrè. Ojúmọ́ ire ni yóò mọ́ wa.